It's Cowboys versus Browns week, which means we are in a like battle against the Browns report, who I am told behind the scenes have juiced their numbers to make it more competitive, given it is a David versus Goliath fight. Let's just blow them out of the water. I am accusing Petey of cheating on this, by the way. Like that video if you haven't already, and like every video here on the Cowboys report. The Cowboys have released their first official depth chart for Week 1, so like we do most years, I want to break it down and point out some interesting, notable takeaways that have come out of it. Now, I think there are some very key things that are realistic, that are actual, and reflect the reality. I think there are also some things that go, I don't know about that one, actually. I have my doubts there. So don't ever take these as 100% accurate. That's just not how they turn out being. Last year, they put Micah Parsons as a linebacker. No, he wasn't. Cowboys at Browns Week 1 on Sunday. We'll have our actual answers then. First takeaway is at the running back position, with the specific ordering involved there. Had some interesting notes. First off, no surprise, it is still Ezekiel Elliott as RB1. I don't think that's going to change. I think he's going to get the first snap. Doesn't mean he's going to get the most carries. Look, Mike McCarthy said he signed off on it. Also said that he's going to, it's going to be a rotation, a committee. So I wouldn't freak out positively or negative one way or the other. We'll know more once the game gets going. You will see plenty of Rico Dowdle. They did list Hunter Luepke over Deuce Vaughn. They also don't have a fullback spot, so I think that was probably the main reason behind that. I think you'll see Luepke do more H-back stuff, tight end / fullback, than halfback stuff, running back / fullback, if that differentiation makes some sense for you guys. I would like to see the Cowboys' ground game be better this year. I think for the most part, we're kind of banking on the offensive line playing a big factor in that. Do you think the Cowboys' ground game, from a results standpoint, will be better? Y for yes, N for no in the comments of today's video. Just like it was on the preseason depth chart, Marist Liufau is starting at linebacker alongside Eric Kendricks and Damone Clark. Now, they did not list the positions. It was also Liufau, Kendricks, Clark. I don't think this team actually views Liufau as linebacker 1. Overshown said he's the weak side linebacker. Clark's the strong side linebacker. I'm going to stick that together. Again, this is going to be a committee. It's going to be a rotation. McCarthy emphasized that in the backfield and at linebacker. I have my doubts that Liufau is going to play top 3 snaps day 1. Clark seems healthy. Overshown seems healthy. Kendricks thinks is going to play a big role because that's what Mike Zimmer wants. I think you have to put Overshown out there. I cannot justify sitting him with what I've seen so far in the preseason. So picking one of the top 3 guys to sit, who would it be? D.O. or top 4 guys. So when you're in your base package, you're going to play 3, right? D.O. for DeMarvion Overshown, D.C. for Damone Clark, E.K. for Eric Kendricks, M.L. for Marist Liufau. Go vote at the pinned comment of today's video. Takeaway number 3, Mazi Smith listed as a starter at defensive tackle, which again shouldn't be a huge surprise given that the other nose guard option, since they'll put Jordan Phillips more at 3 technique, he'll get some 1 technique reps as well, I suspect. Don't get me wrong there. Linval Joseph signed like a week ago, right before Rush cutdown time, so I guess a week and a half ago, basically. He signed recently is what I'm trying to say. Seems noteworthy. I think you're going to use all 4 guys. Smith's going to play starter rotation snaps. Hopefully he's better than what he was last season. Number 4, Brevyn Spann-Ford is not tight end 4. He is tight end 3, ahead of John Stephens Jr. I don't really know how much that matters. I think there might be some decisions on who's active on game day and who's not. John Stephens currently a bit nicked up with a hamstring injury anyway. Stephens is a better pass catcher. Brevyn Spann-Ford is a better blocker. I didn't love what I saw out of Spann-Ford in the preseason, but the Cowboys liked him a lot coming out of Minnesota. They gave him a pretty big signing bonus. I think that type of stuff is impactful, does matter. I think week 1, this will be accurate because Stephens is a bit nicked up. Week 2, week 3, week 4, could be a very different conversation to have there. Today's Cowboys Report is made possible by ZBiotics. Who here has had a rough morning after? I know I have, especially sometimes when the super chats are flowing in on our live show. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It is this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. With this technology, they will release different products that have nothing to do with alcohol. So stay in the loop and go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. You can also scan the QR code on your screen right now to get 15% off your order when you use code CHATSPORTS at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using my code so you can stay prepared no matter the time or the occasion. They have a 100% money-back guarantee, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS at checkout for 15% off. A big thank you to Z-Biotics for sponsoring this episode and our good times. More Jet depth chart takeaways. The return men. 5 options listed. It's actually only 3 players, though. Punt returner 1 and kick returner 1 was KaVontae Turpin. Duh. Deuce Vaughn was punt returner 2 and kick returner 3. Rico Dowdle was kick returner number 2. I am curious how much usage Dowdle gets on returns. There is a chance he's too valuable as a runner to be back there on returns. Another dark horse name to not sleep on, who was not listed. Juanyeh Thomas can do that stuff. He did it at Georgia Tech. He's had chances in practices. He might be your emergency 4th option or your 3rd option on returns even. So I would not sleep on Juanyeh Thomas, and especially gets him away to get on the field a little bit more too, which is always nice. Mike McCarthy already announced the quarterback 2 battle days ago, his first press conference of the week. It's Cooper Rush at quarterback 2. We should have known that going in. We saw the preseason. Lance ends up being the most expensive 3rd quarterback. He can be an emergency game day active as well with the 3rd quarterback rule. We'll see if he gets involved in any special packages, but I kind of have my doubts right now. Wide receiver. Top 3, no surprise. CeeDee Lamb, not as of filming, technically on the 53-man roster. That will happen. Don't actually worry about it. Hell, I probably shouldn't even mentioned it. Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert. Lamb's going to play week 1. That's the full expectation there. He wasn't even on the injury report. Full go, no limited on the injury report Wednesday. Don't forget that. Jalen Brooks, Ryan Flournoy, KaVontae Turpin. They put Turpin behind Brooks or behind Tolbert, but I think he'd be ahead of Flournoy if the game happened today. Now, we will be live for Cowboys versus Browns. Can't wait. Football's back. Going to be a grand old time. Don't miss out. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/@CowboysTV. Offensive line, I'll make note, no injured guys on the depth chart, so we don't have Chuma Doga on there since he's on IR. Awesome Richards, the backup left tackle. Matt Waletzko, the backup right tackle. BB over Hoffman, that's been known. TJ Bass, the backup at both guard spots. I think this is 100% accurate. Defensive end time. Micah Parsons, Tank Lawrence, Marshawn Nealon, Chauncey Golston, Tyra Sweets. Is there anything even remotely surprising on that? No silly Micah Parsons listed at linebacker stuff that we saw last year. I think this is how it's going to be, and you're banking a lot on Nealon and Chauncey Golston too. I think both Nealon and Golston in a pinch can also reduce down inside on passing downs. I want you guys to pick the score for me of Cowboys versus Browns. Plenty of chances throughout the week to do it. How you feeling right now? Days away from kickoff. Let me know in the comments of today's show. Quarterback, again, no IR, so no Deron Bland there. It is Kalen Carson as the starter. Trayvon Diggs is cornerback 1. Jordan Lewis. C.J. Goodwin was listed behind Diggs. He's not going to play actual corner reps, though, because he's just a core special teamer, but they're going to put him somewhere on that cornerback depth chart. Safety is exactly what we've all thought it has been and was going to be. Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, Juanyeh Thomas, Marquise Bell. 4 very good safeties who I think will play pretty critical roles for you at various points throughout the season. I'll also make a quick note here. I'm not even going to bother with special teams. It's Brandon Aubrey. It's Brian Anger. It's Trent Sigg. Hopefully don't ever mention Trent Sigg's name again this season. Otherwise, something bad happens. So hopefully don't mention him ever again.